Yeah. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going into a little bit of a discussion, maybe a teensy little bit of a rant, and we are going to be talking about decluttering and why decluttering isn't necessarily for everyone. Now, when I started my channel, which was about 3 coming up on 4 years ago, I feel like decluttering was huge. It had started to become this big thing. All these channels were doing it. It was really popular. People loved seeing what people were getting rid of, what they were keeping. It was just a nice way to sort of refresh your collection, get a good idea of what you have, and get rid of what you weren't using. However, I feel like declutters have turned into this crazy thing where people feel like if they don't declutter a lot, then they're not doing a good declutter, and they get nasty comments if they don't. Well, this wasn't a very good declutter. You should have called it a collection video. I would have decluttered this and that and this. That's great. You go declutter your makeup. So I'm going to be talking about kind of my perceived notions and ideas on declutter. If I'm looking down or seem scripted, well, it's because I am. Because when it comes to these videos, I like having my thoughts laid out rather than just being rambly for a 12-minute video. Alright, we're going to start off with the first topic is decluttering perpetuates the endless cycle of buying. I hear a lot of time in declutters when people are reorganizing, they're like, okay, now it looks all nice, and then there's room for more stuff. I'm honestly just going to read my points here and then kind of elaborate on them other than trying to look at the points and say it and just have the editing all choppy. By getting rid of things and making space, we feel the need to fill that new void with more products. So even though decluttering is essentially a good thing, it doesn't really make us use our collections anymore because we're still buying new things. And buying new things isn't a bad thing. We're all makeup lovers on here. We like adding new things to our collection, trying new formulas, buying more of formulas we love. It's okay. It's a hobby. It's a whatever. And we also sometimes use the excuse on less expensive things that we can declutter it now, then if so need, repurchase it down the road. This equals just more unnecessary money spent. I feel very justified in keeping a lot of things in my items, even if in my collection, even if I don't use them a lot, because I spent my money on it, and if I'm not using it, it's not the product's fault. It's my fault for being lazy and not rotating my makeup enough and not using it. So I bring it upon myself to consciously really rotate my products and really think about what I'm using and really give myself the money's worth that I spent on these items, other than being, I haven't used this for 3 months, time to just pitch it because I haven't used it in 3 months and I'm not using it. I hate it in collections and in declutters when people are like, oh, I really like this, but I haven't reached for it, time to get rid of it. I'm like, if you really like it, why are you getting rid of it? We start feeling obligated that we have to declutter because it makes us feel better about having lots of makeup. And then we lead into the need to declutter for views. This is a horrendously annoying thing where, okay, makeup is very personal. Your reason for loving it, your reason for having it, what you buy, what works for your skin, everything about makeup on a whole is very specific to the user. And so is decluttering. Whereas if someone declutters 5 things, 25 things, half of their collection, that is their prerogative. We don't come on here to declutter to fill your guys' satisfaction of seeing things decluttered. If you really want that satisfaction, go and declutter your own collection. Here we go. Some viewers can sometimes get really nasty when it comes to declutters because they want to see people get rid of 50% of their collection. Terms like savage and ruthless are very popular and draw in a crowd. If you only pass on a few things, they will say in the comments that it was a disappointing declutter. As a result, people tend to try and get rid of more stuff, making excuses to part with products they actually use and enjoy. If I have something, why get rid of it just to buy it later down the road? And why get rid of it when I've spent my money on it? It just really, really irks me when you do have people who are decluttering and they're just decluttering willy-nilly. And I honestly hate, this is a personal preference, I hate watching declutters from big YouTubers who have lots and lots of things. Now, I love that one thing that has started to happen in decluttering is people are starting to donate their makeup to like women's shelters and I think it was Project Beauty Share, I see a lot of people do, where the makeup gets donated to a good cause. I am 110% down for that. But it is so frustrating when I watch, and no offense, I'm not showing and throwing any shade. I have purchased everything in my collection with my own ding-dang money, save it be for gifts from thus and such, which presents its own problem because I'm horrendously sentimental. It is just so frustrating to see these bigger YouTubers who have these massive drawers filled, and they're like, oh, I've never even used this. This is brand new in the box. I'm gonna get rid of it. And I'm just like, it's great that they're getting rid of it and giving it to like, you know, those good causes, but at the same time, it's just like, there's so much stinking turnover where they're not even processing what's in their collection, and it's just like, dang. And that's just a personal thing, you know, y'all don't have to agree with me. I declutter as a means to get rid of things I don't like. When it comes to products I don't use very often, we kind of already discussed this, I really try hard to rotate those things and try hard to use them because I spent money on those. I don't want to get rid of something just because I'm being lazy and using the same things every time. And another thing with the decluttering is not everyone has a super excessive collection. There are people, even on YouTube, who have a really high standing, who have a much smaller, more heavily curated collection where I feel like they don't need to declutter everything. Maybe there are things they don't like, things that they don't use, that's fine, that's there. But feeling this need to declutter so much just in order to get that like acknowledgement of I had such a crazy declutter. And also it then comes back to you spent your money on this. I spent my money on this. If I want to keep that really crappy highlighter because it has really cute packaging, that's my business and my choice and no reason for anyone else to get upset. It is my choice, my collection. I choose to curate it however I want to. And I feel like there is such a disconnect when it comes to declutters where we're in there for like, yeah, let's watch it declutter. Yeah, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. It's like they get disappointed when you don't get rid of things when it's really like, can we just like stop for a minute and be like, if I want to keep it, I'm going to keep it and that's it. If you are a YouTuber like me, declutters are horrendously popular. That's why you see people, you know, foundation, primers, concealers, highlighters, blush, eyeshadow palettes. You're able to get this huge subset of videos from one theme, which is decluttering. If you are YouTube trying to think of videos but don't want to undergo the scrutiny of not decluttering enough, I highly recommend investing the time to do monthly makeup drawers. You can rotate your products and give your viewers in-depth looks at what you're using. Don't feel pressure to declutter just because everyone else is. Like I said, the main thing of this video is decluttering isn't for everyone. Yes, decluttering in every aspect of our life is great. We go through our clothes, we go through just our shoes, our makeup, everything we have in our house and just like, okay, this is something I am genuinely not using. There is no point in it taking up space in my life. Time to move on. In the case of this high pressure, you must declutter in your declutter videos, you just don't necessarily have to. My first declutter, my first round of declutters were exceptionally savage because it was the first round. I had a lot of things I wasn't using that I could pass on to sort of slim down and curate my collection into what it is now. Things that I know and love and use. But then when you get to that point of having it curated and you have 3 drawers of highlighters, yeah, but you love all of them, there's nothing wrong in not decluttering everything. Just film a collection video instead. I understand that decluttering is a great way to cycle through what we do and don't use. But when we start splitting hairs just to justify passing something along, it's no longer fair. I'm not going to get rid of what I like to give someone else satisfaction. Makeup is something that I love. Decluttering is something that I enjoy doing. I do a lot of it off camera, and I try to, you know, when you use something and you hate it, you're like, I really don't need this taking up space. It's hard to keep it in there. I try to for the sake of y'all and for filming declutters, which is going to be coming after my incarnation of collection videos. But I use it simply as a means to get rid of things I don't like. I feel there is no need to declutter things that I use and love. If I haven't used a certain blush for a couple months because maybe it doesn't suit my skin tone in the wintertime as well as it does in the summertime, it's just madness to really perpetuate this need to there's just this endless cycle of we bring it in, we pass it on, we bring more in, we keep passing on, and it just goes into this endless cycle of perpetually needing to buy more things because we make more space, we gotta fill up the space, then the space is filled up, so we gotta make more space, then we gotta fill the space. Y'all see where this is going? So while I do think that declutters are a great way to cultivate and curate your collection to what you like, but there is no need for it. And if your collection is to the point where you're like, yeah, everything in here is something I like, it's good, it's great, just stop there. Other video ideas are out and abound. And if you get to the point where you have things that you don't like, then do a declutter. But don't feel pressured that you have to get rid of your makeup that you have spent your hard-earned money on just to give a potential viewer the satisfaction of seeing you moving stuff out of your collection. Alright guys, I hope that came across in a good way. I kind of went off script and kind of did whatever. This is a video I've been wanting to do for a while. Let me know your opinions on decluttering. Like I said, I am not trying to bash decluttering or say that it's a bad thing. I'm just trying to say that when it comes to decluttering, I think we need to take a step back and understand that a good thing done in excess can kind of turn into a bad thing. Let me know what you guys think of this video. If you want to see me do more kinds of videos like this, I love doing more in-depth and personal and actual thinking other than just like makeup. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!